judge delays Donald Trump case again. Also, Trump goes after the LGBTQ community. But before we get started with this demonstration, let me read my copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Everything that you hear in this video that I call a demonstration is only the opinions of mine and others. Everything that you hear in this demonstration is only allegedly. Salute to the replay gang. Salute to the chat. Salute to all my moderators. All right. Now that Trump has been elected the 47th president, what is going to happen in these criminal cases that he's facing as well as that he's been convicted of? It's the hush money case. It's the 34 felony convictions. What is going to take place? Now that he's been elected the 47th president, will it keep him from serving any prison time? Will it keep him from being prosecuted in some of these criminal cases? What are y'all thoughts? Let's go to some legal experts and let's see what the legal experts have to say.
Earlier this year that gave presidents immunity from prosecution for official acts. Let's bring in MSNBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin and former federal prosecutor Barrett Berger. And so, Lisa, this just happened. What more are we learning about Judge Merchan's decision to postpone this?
So this is not a decision that Judge Merchan reached on his own. This is rather the parties came to him together and said that Trump's team had asked the district attorney's office whether they would agree to a stay given constitutional concerns about sentencing a future president and a president-elect, particularly in light of the burdens of an upcoming presidential transition. And that's when the district attorney's office said, yeah, we agree. There are some competing interests here that have to be balanced. On one hand, we want to support the jury verdict. We believe that it was reached correctly. On the other hand, there are some legitimate concerns here dealing with the office of the president. And so we are asking you jointly to stay all deadlines in this case. We will come back to you. And it sounds like he has now said, I am going to stay these deadlines until November 19th. And you have to come back to me by 10 a.m. on November 19th, telling me your view, this is a quote from the order this morning, your view of the appropriate steps going forward.
So as we could see, is Donald Trump's team. And that's why it's important to have a strong team around you. And most of the times, you're going to have to choose your team wisely. And most of the times, you're not going to be able to have friends. You're not going to be able to have family members. You're just not going to be able to have them on your team. Because friends and family members, sometimes they don't see your vision. And this is what I say all the time. Whether we disagree with Trump or not, whether we like Trump or not, there are plenty of people out there that likes and love Trump. There are plenty of people out there that support Trump. Why? Well, because they're getting something out of it. Salute positive vibes. And this is what it's all about. Salute, Tommy. They're getting something out of it.
So today, as of today, we are not going to get a decision on whether or not the verdict should stand. And we are not going ahead toward that November 26th sentencing right now. The next deadline in this case is November 19th, when each side has to tell Judge Merchan how they believe we should move forward.
Garrett, are you surprised at all by this delay, especially that the prosecutors are also asking for this delay, given all along that had been a tactic of the Trump team to delay?
I'm not surprised because the landscape really has changed here, right? I mean, the judge has to look at this decision now through two lenses. The legal lens, which he's been prepared to do probably for the last 2 months as he's been writing his opinion, that both sides have briefed this. But now we have this political lens that he has to look through too, because things have changed pretty drastically after the election. So now, because
And just like that, things can change. Salute, Nola. Salute. Just like that, things can change. Remember, y'all, it wasn't that long ago, I'm going to say weeks ago, that things wasn't looking too good for Donald Trump. And this is why I say, take from Donald Trump's situation and learn. Learn how he never gave up, regardless of what he was up against. And he was up against a lot. Regardless of what, he never gave up. He could have been through the towel end, but he stayed focused and he kept mashing. He stayed focused and he kept mashing. Appreciate that super sticker, Nola. Appreciate that super sticker, Nola. Make sure y'all supporting the platform as well. Make sure y'all supporting the platform. The Cash App is $ERICMCINT. Also, let's get some memberships to the channel, as well as send me some super stickers and super chats. Appreciate that, Nola.
of the OLC opinion, because of the Supreme Court's opinion, we're in a very different political space where Trump, because he is going to be president, can't be prosecuted. Similarly, there are probably certain sentencing remedies that if Judge Merchan was to decide that these charges should stand and he should go forward with sentencing, certain sentencing options are probably off the table. So my guess is Judge Merchan wants the parties to weigh in and help him as he's reaching this really critical decision.
And even before this latest development, you had said there are a number of different pathways that Judge Merchan could go with this decision in general, right? It's not just dismiss the case or sentence Trump to whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the Supreme Court's decision from the summer gave the president-elect very broad immunity for official acts that he committed as president. But what it didn't do was offer a lot of detail about how to define what an official act is. So this is what sort of the meat that Judge Merchan is really getting into here. But even if he finds that these acts were official acts, that doesn't necessarily mean it leads to dismissal of the case. He may then find, yes, a few of these were official acts because they happened while President Trump was in office. However, they're really ancillary to the ultimate issue in the case. They didn't infect the whole trial, and we can sort of put those aside and still sustain the jury's verdict.
Lisa, I mean, do you see any possibility of the judge actually sentencing Trump 3 weeks here after he, won an election?
I think particularly in light of developments this morning, Anna, where I see this going is perhaps toward a solution where the conviction stands, but there is no sentencing, and both parties agree that either Trump should be sentenced to time served or solely to probation, and that no sentencing hearing is necessary or appropriate. The thing that President Trump's team most wants to avoid is to remind the American public that he was convicted of these 34 felony counts by forcing him to enter the courtroom and sit there as Judge Merchan sentences him. They do not want those optics. They do not want the burden of forcing him to come to New York and go through that. And that's a security risk, I think, for everyone concerned as well. They don't want the inflammation of that proceeding. So where I think we can land is a place where the conviction stands, but there is no sentence here imposed on former President Trump.
What are y'all thoughts? Salute, Laggin. Salute, Laggin. What are y'all thoughts? Salute, Brother Nazir. Do y'all think President Donald Trump will get any prison time? Drop a 1 if you think the judge is going to give Donald Trump some prison time. Drop a 2 if you disagree and feel like Trump is not getting no prison time. I don't think he's going to prison. Salute the Blue Burn. Salute. The Blue Burn says he shouldn't. I don't believe that Donald Trump is going to prison. I don't believe Donald Trump will spend a day in prison.
Lisa, real quick, we also had another ruling just come down before the show related to a separate case, this one involving Mark Meadows in the Georgia election interference case. Fill us in.
So Mark Meadows has been arguing for a long time that as a former federal officer, he's entitled to move that Georgia election interference case to a federal court. He lost that argument in a federal district court and a federal appeals court. He then went to the United States Supreme Court for a last-ditch effort to try and move that case from Fulton County Superior Court to a federal court. The Supreme Court this morning saying, no, Mark Meadows, we're not going to step in. So if Mark Meadows thinks that the case against him shouldn't go forward, his best hope right now is to look to former President Trump and future President Trump and ask for that pardon.
Of course, the Georgia case is a state case. It's not a federal case. So if Trump takes office and that's still ongoing.
And he can't be pardoned for that. So, as I was
Trump could pardon Mark Meadows,
No,
right?
he couldn't. He couldn't pardon him for a state crime. So I am mistaken in saying that he could ask him for a pardon. As I'm hearing myself talk, there is no pardon that could be granted. Really, the only solution here for Mark Meadows is to win that case on the merits or hope that it gets thrown out, because on appeal, the Georgia Court of Appeals could find that Fani Willis should not stay in control of the case. That's the issue that was already resolved before Judge Scott McAfee of the Fulton County Superior Court earlier this year. Meadows, Trump, and others have now escalated that to an appeals court to say, you know what, Fani Willis, you are too interested. You have too much going on here in terms of your stake with Nathan Wade and the finances to remain in control of your case. If she gets stripped of her control of the case, and it's largely thought that the case would not continue. That's Mark Meadows'
Do
defense
you
now.
see the Georgia case continuing if Trump takes office? Again, he can't touch this case. He doesn't have control over, this is not a DOJ case. He wouldn't have control over the state prosecutors, right? So do you think it moves forward?
Well, it leaves us in this really odd position where the president can't be prosecuted because of his role as the president and this broad immunity that he has. However, other defendants, co-defendants, people that maybe played a lesser role still can be prosecuted. So it leaves us in a bizarre situation where sometimes the person that perhaps was the most culpable is not going to be prosecuted, while others with lesser culpability might. I think that the president may be able to exert some political pressure, even though he can't pardon him. He may be able to pressure state leaders to do some sort of a clemency or some sort of
And
state
of course,
level.
we know in the state of Georgia, it is Republicans who are at the top.
What are y'all thoughts? Let me come down to the chat. What are y'all thoughts on this? I see why many people are mad with Donald Trump. I see why. The Blue Burn says MSNBC come out with some of the most bigoted BS you'll hear. The Blue Burn says they're so obsessed with identity politics. Why do these women always look like they're going to start crying? I see why many people are upset with Donald Trump. I mean, the villain, y'all know in some shows and some movies, the cartoons and all of that, there's always a villain. There's always a villain. However, sometimes we cheer for the villain to win. All right? Donald Trump is painted as this villain, right? Now, here's my thing, and I'll let y'all help me out, all right? I'll let y'all help me out. Why, after everything that has been thrown at Donald Trump, after all the things that he's been accused of in the 34 felony convictions that he was found guilty of, how in the hell did he end up becoming the president? Somebody make it make sense. Somebody down there. All of this, he got shot in the ear. He got up, pumping his fists. There were alleged 2 other attempts on his life. How is Donald Trump able to still be standing? Because just as well as there are many people that are cheering for Donald Trump, there are many people that want to see Donald Trump fall. There are many people that want to see Donald Trump be destroyed. how is he able to still be standing? I am the rebel says voters seen through the BS. He's still standing. I mean, he's still standing. And not only is he still standing, he's the president. He's been elected the president. So I just want to know if somebody can help me understand this. For those that disagree with Trump, for those that don't like Trump, help me understand this. Maybe it's something that I'm missing. Can somebody that's on the Democrat side, can somebody from the Democrat Party help me understand this? The Blue Burn says, it's why so many African-American men related to Trump. He's got that dog in him. And that's what I said, the Blue Burn. And they was throwing shoes at me. They was throwing hot dogs at me. They were mad when I made that comment on one of my demonstrations, the Blue Burn. I said it. I did a demonstration. Isaiah, salute Isaiah. Isaiah says, is it an act of Jesus Christ? Could it be? Could it be? Is Donald Trump God's man? I'm just asking. I'll get into my commentary later on. But does Jesus Christ has his hand on Donald Trump? Does God have his hand on Donald Trump? But I said this on some demonstrations ago to Blue Burn. The reason why so many of us black men relate to Donald Trump because we see the same things that he's been going through. We went through it. And most of us are still going through it now. That's why I gets down with Trump. I see it. I see it. I said, Trump been around some black people. And he has. His sense of humor. I mean, he got one hell of a sense of humor. Positive Vibes says, Shank, there's nothing on your head for you to keep rubbing it. Positive Vibes wouldn't be Positive Vibes if she didn't roast me. I'm about to send you, I can't cuss no more, but I'm about to send you to my office, Positive Vibes, and legging you too for laughing with her. I am the rebel says, all politics is poisonous. It's the same here in the UK. Okay. Salute Bob Cox. Bob Cox says Trump's real as y'all know what. I mean, he just keep overcoming all these obstacles. He just keep overcoming obstacle after obstacle.
The task at hand now is that Trump has a 75 or so day transition period to build out his team before Inauguration Day arrives. And one of the top items on that to-do list is filling around 4,000 government positions with political appointees. And we're watching live now from Fox. I'm Stephanie Quinn. I did want to head back to that story as we continue to take a live look at the White House. So when it comes to those government positions, that includes everyone from the Secretary of State and other heads of cabinet departments to those selected to serve part-time on boards and commissions. Around 1,200 of those presidential appointments require Senate confirmation, although that should be easier with the Senate now shifting to Republican control.
Salute Chain Matt. Salute Michelle. Salute Sylvia. So he's coming in, and his first agenda is the deportations. Also going after the LGBTQ community. All right.
Trump's team also pledging that the second term won't look much like the first one Trump established after his 2016 victory. And on day one, I did want to share what is on that to-do list. This is a look at what President-elect Trump has vowed to do. Pardon supporters who attacked the Capitol, dismantle the deep state of government workers, impose tariffs on imported goods, settle the war between Russia and Ukraine, and also begin mass deportation.
All right, how do y'all feel about this, y'all? Y'all let me know. And if y'all want to be a part of my troublemakers down there in the chat and y'all want to roast me and laugh, I'm going to send all of y'all to my office. But how do y'all feel about this? This is what's on his agenda. He's going to pardon supporters who attack the Capitol. Also, to dismantle the deep state of government workers, impose tariffs on imported goods, also settle the war between Russia and Ukraine, and then begin the mass deportations of immigrants. The Burn says illegals out now. Lush says which will cause taxes to rise. Chain says keep up the good work. Shank, Godspeed, brother. I appreciate you, Chain. The Blue Burn says come to America illegally. It's simple as that. Bob says perfect. Lush says he needs that ranch. Yeah, I'm not playing with you, Leggin. You follow behind positive vibes if you want to, Leggin.
Of migrants. To talk more about this, I do want to bring in Richard Gordon, who is a political analyst. Richard, thank you for taking the time to join us here on Live Now from Fox.
Pleasure being with you. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So I did want to ask about the political appointees. Trump already announcing that Susie Wiles will be his chief of staff, and history being made with this announcement. She will be the first woman in history to hold this position. So for folks who aren't familiar with who Susie Wiles is, who is she and what does this appointment signify?
Well, I've had the pleasure to work with her in the past. She's from Jacksonville, the Jacksonville area, and has worked in state government and other parts of politics for a very, very long time. She's interesting. What a choice. First of all, if you remember the show The West Wing, they once asked the president, who should you pick as your chief of staff? And his answer was, my best friend. You should pick your best friend. And when he did it last time, he picked people he really didn't have a close relationship with. Well, he's changing that. Susie Wiles has stood the test of time. I mean, in Trump world, she's been there for 4 years, which is like forever. And she has the ability to be a great policeman in the sense of who gets in to see him, who doesn't get in to see him, who gets to talk to him. Trump has a characteristic that he tends to listen to the last person he talks to. I mean, he's talked about that. A lot of other people have. She's going to be able to decide as the gatekeeper who gets in and who doesn't get in. And I think that's really, really important. I think the fact that she's obviously a woman is important and a great signal of hopefully what his administration can be. There's a lot of criticism during the campaign about this bro attitude around him. And, if she does one thing, if she's able to keep him focused and keep him from going off on these large tangents and attacking people and saying some of the things he said during the campaign, she will be an enormous success. She really will.
What are y'all thoughts? What are y'all thoughts? Oh, I see we got two of them in here. I see we got Lush Gang and Leggin in here. Well, y'all better not come in here rolling with my troublemakers, starting any trouble, Leggin and Lush Gang. But what are y'all thoughts? What are y'all thoughts? What are y'all thoughts? Because Erica Carter says help. Salute, Erica. Erica says help. Is the United States of America in that much trouble? Come on, let's chop it up, all right? Let's chop it up. Let's chop it up. Is the United States of America in that much of trouble now that Trump is the president? King Rebel says, I'm glad my Uncle Trump won. What are y'all thoughts? Are we in that much trouble? Was Trump that bad? Yeah, okay, Lush calling to cause trouble. All right, Lush. All right. All right. Well, you better check with my troublemakers and find out what I do to my troublemakers. I am the rebel says, on a serious note, though, what can you sell abroad, really? Finance and Apple devices is about it. We don't want your cars. We buy German or Japanese. We buy our tech from Korea or Japan. Food from Europe. That's true. That's true. I am the rebel. That's true. Leggins said, King Rebel says, no, it's not. Leggins says, we showing out Lush Gang and my family. Bam. All right. All right. All right. You see what you done positive vibes? Beautiful nightmare. Y'all see what y'all done? Salute, Pee-wee. Y'all see what my troublemakers and the Rock Squad done? Y'all have allowed other folks from other contents, from other platforms to come to my platform and cause problems. All right. All right.
So that was the first appointment. You know, there have been discussions about who will be on his cabinet. President-elect Trump taking to social media yesterday to announce two individuals who will not be joining his cabinet, and those were former members of his previous cabinet, Nikki Haley and Mike Pompeo. You know, it's interesting to note that he is just so open about that. But does that signify anything to you? I know he did mention that the future cabinet is going to look nothing like the previous one. You know, what is that strategy?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of curious. I always wonder about people signaling what they're going to do. I'm sort of a fan of just do it. Just do it. Joe Biden said he's going to pick a woman. Well, just pick the most qualified person who happens to be a woman. Similarly here, I think he was making a statement about his feelings about both of them, and there's some of the criticism of him after he left the White House and that he doesn't want them around again. In all honesty, I think both of them want to be president of the United States. And I think they've made that pretty clear. She's run for it. Pompeo has looked at it. I don't think he wants people in his administration who are planning to run for president and who's going to spend the next 4 years positioning themselves for the next election, which he cannot run for, right? He's constitutionally prohibited from serving again. So, I don't think he wants to be around people whose job to them is how do I position myself to be president. He wants people who are going to be drop dead loyal to him. Both of those people, who are very loyal and able people, are running for president. And in some ways they should be happy because they could be out there doing their own thing, making their own path, speaking as they wish, not being, having to toe the line, for example, to what he wants. And I think he was really offended by a lot of things that Nikki Haley did, both as UN ambassador and clearly the things she said about Donald Trump on the campaign trail. And I just don't think he wants people in his administration who are not 100% pro-Trump.
Do you think that there are going to be any surprises, and are there any particular appointments that you're keeping a very close eye on?
Well, they've signaled a lot of the appointments. The biggest appointment for him is going to be Attorney General for 1,000 reasons we all know. Here's someone who's been convicted of 34 felonies. Here's someone who gets to appoint judges around the country, which the Attorney General is very helpful in that process, U.S. attorneys, etc. So I think the Attorney General is going to be his top choice. I don't think he's going to pick a stranger again, as he did in 2017. I think he's going to pick a current Attorney General. That would make sense to me, or possibly someone out of the Senate. I think that's a big one. Obviously, Secretary of State is huge. The first, you had it up on your screen before. Donald Trump says he's going to solve the Ukraine issue. Well, the only way to solve the Ukraine issue is literally to give Russia part of Ukraine. I mean, because Ukraine's not going to give in. So how are they going to juggle that? How is the
Do y'all think Trump will solve the Russia-Ukraine war? What are y'all thoughts? He say the only way you're going to solve it is give half of Ukraine to Russia. Do y'all think, because Trump even said he'll solve the Ukraine-Russia war. He'll bring it to an end. What are y'all thoughts? King Rebel says when Trump was in the seat last time, I seen more people get help than ever before. People getting out of jail for BS charges and everything. The flow of money was better, more job opening. Lush Gang says they hated on Boebert and Palin, and those women were way more American than Trump. I'm the Rebel says it's time for America to look after America, become the country that people worldwide aspire to become again. Lush Gang says King Rebel explain, because if that's how you feel, then back it up with direct bills that actually help. Let's go. Michelle says no, he's not. Positive Vibe says no. Lush Gang says OMG.
Secretary of State going to be involved in that? Who is that? Picking someone who has been very clear, probably in the Senate, such as Marco Rubio, has been very clear about not funding, Americans' involvement in Ukraine. By definition, if you don't do that, Ukraine is going to lose this war. They cannot sustain themselves without the United States or the West. So that's a very, very, very big one. The last one, I'll just try to impeach him and then all types of things because of the actions at the border. He's going to need someone who shares his vision completely about deporting immigrants. That person is going to have to be in lockstep with the president because what the president's talking about doing, deporting millions of people, who are here. We've never seen anything like this in the United States. Well, I'm going to say maybe what we did to the Native Americans might be up there, but by and large, this is not something America has seen for quite some time. And the amount of resources it will take to do that, if he actually does it, he's going to need someone totally who shares his vision on that.
All right, now let me ask y'all this. I appreciate the compliment chain. Matt. All right, how do y'all feel about, salute Suntan. How do y'all feel about the transgenders? All right. And let's chop it up. And let's be honest. All right. How do y'all feel? Because Trump, as far as these men that were born men with male private parts, Trump says he's going to put an end to that. Men playing in female sports. I think it's a good thing. Because, see, if America, and remember, y'all, I'm only going off of what's black and white, okay? What's facts. If America supposed to be a Christian nation, right? Drop a three if you agree that America supposed to be a Christian nation. Drop a 3 for me. Drop a 4 if America is not supposed to be a Christian nation, all right? Secret Life, drop the 3. From my understanding, America supposed to be a Christian nation. James dropped the 3. Positive dropped the 3. I'm the Rebel says amen. Pee Wee says drop the 3. Okay. Lush Gang dropped the 4. Lush Gang says America is not supposed to be a Christian nation. Okay. Can you explain, Lush Gang? Can you explain why America is not supposed to be a Christian nation? From my understanding, I was always taught that this was a Christian nation, supposed to have been a Christian nation. Now, if Isaiah, okay, I'll say, Lush Gang says, we have a separation of church and state. What are y'all talking about? Good point, Lush Gang. Isaiah Arthur says, yes, Bank of America is supposed to be a Christmas. Okay, Be Pretty says 3. Open Eyes says all nations should be a Christian nation. Sadly, these people own slaves, etc. Okay. Leggins says they have choices if they want to do that, Shank. But Jesus made Adam and Eve, not Eve and Eve, and not Adam and Adam. But who am I to judge? It's not I for Trump. Well, see, here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. Let's stay in the Bible, all right? For those that knows the Bible, let's just go to the Bible. Now, God gave Moses the laws, right? He gave Moses the laws. The book of Leviticus has those laws that Moses came with from God, all right? Old Testament. Now we fast forward to the New Testament. When Jesus steps on the scene, they question Jesus about the laws of Moses, right? Jesus answered them, I did not come to destroy the laws of Moses. So Jesus himself testified that he did not come to destroy the laws of Moses. He only came to fulfill the law of Moses. So those laws of Moses still exist. Drop a 3 if y'all agree to that, because I want to make sure we all on the same page. Drop a 3 if you agree that the law of Moses still should be in existence. Drop a 4 if you disagree. Positive, drop the 3. Open Eyes, drop the 3. Okay, we got some 3s. Secret Life says, to be honest, the Constitution gives us freedom of religion. Christianity is the true religion, and I think we should all glorify Lord Jesus, but some people just don't care. James dropped the 3. Mr. Ashenfire says, what's the laws of Moses? Mr. Ashenfire says, just popped in. Okay, Open Eyes says, God's word. Lush Gang says, so are we forgetting about Catholicism? I hope I pronounced that right. Okay, and we're gonna tap into that as well. Now, we're dealing with America being a Christian nation. We're dealing with the Bible, and we're dealing with these laws that Jesus said he didn't come to destroy, he only came to fulfill. Okay? To be a Christian, and y'all can help me out because I may be wrong, but to be a Christian, you have to follow Jesus Christ. Drop a 5 for me. Drop a 5 for me if that's true. Drop a 6 if it's not true. To be a Christian is to follow Jesus Christ. All right? Now, if Jesus came to fulfill these laws, and if we are followers of Christ, and if we are to follow Christ, shouldn't we follow these laws? We should follow these laws. Okay. The laws of Moses is in the book of Leviticus. And in the book of Leviticus, it talks about certain things that are abomination to God. Certain things it talk about that thou shalt not do. It talk about committing adultery. It talks about committing fornication. It talks about stealing. It also talks about man shall not lay down with another man. It says woman shall not lay down with another woman. So now Trump is going after the LGBT community. He's saying basically the same thing that I'm saying, and he's saying the same thing that you all are saying. Hey, look, what you do on your personal time, what you do behind closed doors, that's none of my business. See, people get it twisted when this subject comes up, when the whole subject of LGBT community, when it comes up gays and lesbians, people get it twisted, all right? Because they automatically assume that we are trying to tell people how to live their lives. We're trying to tell people who they should have sex with. That's not the case. What Trump is saying, he's saying behind closed doors, that's your business. But what we're not about to do is we're not about to pass all these laws to benefit a community that's an abomination to God. Now, if we Christians, we got to abide by that. You and I may not be the judge. You and I may not be here to judge them and put into place what they should do and what they should not do. But he's the president. So he has that right. See, I gave this demonstration up on another demonstration. As far as you cannot be a wide receiver and expect to do the quarterback's job. You cannot be a running back and expect to do a wide receiver's job. We as American people, we cannot expect to do the president's job. He's the president. And he got rights that me and you don't have. Me and you don't have the right to try to pass a bill through the House of Congress. But he does. And trust me, if many of you all had that same right, y'all would be pushing them same bills that Trump is trying to push through Congress when it comes to the LGBT community. Look, they have rights that you and I don't have. I gotta call a spade a spade. Baby Oil Man is in the situation that Baby Oil Man is in. Why? Isn't Baby Oil Man, isn't P. Diddy accused of forcing men to have sexual relations with him and other men? Isn't that part of his indictment? Y'all help me understand now.
In terms of his directives, his mission on day one?
Well, I'm not surprised, but we've talked about a couple of them. Let me just talk about a few of them. Pardoning the supporters who attacked the Capitol. What a huge mistake that would be. People who did something absolutely hideous to the United States. This was the first insurrection in America's history, the first attempt to stop the lawful transfer of power. And to pardon these people who clearly broke the law is wrong on every ground, moral grounds, legal grounds, every ground. He obviously has the right to do it. He is the President of the United States. It would send the wrong. He should not start his administration this way. It will, so many people will be incredibly upset. Look, how many policemen were hurt during this? How many policemen died during this? So for him to do that, I believe is a mistake. Two.
Now, we could chop it up. We could chop it up about giving those rioters a pardon. Now, for those that are against Trump, I'm with y'all on that. Beautiful says, Shank, you are marked safe today from my troublemaking. Yeah, but you got Leggin, you got Lush Gang. Now the Lush Gang tribe over here being a troublemaker with y'all, beautiful nightmare, because of you and positive vibes. Y'all have allowed other people from other platforms to come over here and be troublemakers. I'm gonna get y'all. But when it comes to the pardon of those with the Capitol rise, they were wrong for doing that. And I gotta call a spade a spade. And in my opinion, for Trump, but he did say, now listen now, and I'm not taking up for him. I hope he stick to what he says. He said those that are innocent, that was arrested and convicted for the Capitol riots. He said he's going to work on pardons for those that are innocent. Now, I see what you're saying, Open Eyes. What if we were like Africans saying homosexuality will be death penalty? Not only Africans, in those Arab Islamic countries, there are a lot of countries around the world that's how they treat homosexuality. Death penalty. They're stoned to death. They're stoned to death. Do I agree with it? I gotta call a spade a spade. In the Bible, it talks about that. It also talks about, see, and I want y'all to listen very careful to me. We gotta understand what America is. All right, and I'm not gonna hold y'all that much longer. We got to understand what America is. Even though many Americans and a lot of people around the world feels like America is the greatest country, America is not the greatest country. And I'll tell y'all why. Because everything that God says thou shalt not do, America now says it's okay to do. And this is what Donald Trump means when he says, make America great again. We got to get out of our feelings, y'all. And this is going to probably be my last demonstration on politics, y'all, because I feel like I'm just repeating myself over and over and over and over again. But America, when he says make America great again, he's talking about the morals. He's talking about the values. He's talking about the principles. It was great compared to now. Lush Gang, come here so I could carve out a part in your forehead and empty out the garbage and then place what I'm saying to you in there. I get it. I get it. Y'all keep saying America was never great, Shank, compared to today. Compared to today's time. America was great before. And this is what he's saying. Make America great again. The morals that we had, the values that we had, the principles that we had. Do y'all realize at one time in America that was success? See, lately, money, cars, big houses, all these subscribers, all these likes and stuff, that's success now. But y'all remember when morals, values, and principles was what we had to stand on. And that's what he's talking about. Make America great again. If y'all can't see that, if y'all can't see that, I don't know what else to tell y'all. I just don't. But I can tell y'all one thing. I ain't going to keep entertaining y'all on that to almost blow a head gasket. I know that's what y'all like. But I'm tired of repeating the same stuff over and over and over and over again. I told y'all why Kamala Harris lost the election. Y'all keep making it about Trump. It ain't had nothing to do with Trump why she lost the election. I ain't fooling with y'all troublemakers, man. Well, somebody run these troublemakers up out of my chat. Open eyes. Somebody. Pee-wee. Somebody. Who else is down there? I can't say Leggett. I am the rebel. Run. Please, somebody run these troublemakers up out of my chat. Will you please? I give you $100 if you run those damn troublemakers up out of my chat. I'll get right in this live. But we gotta focus, y'all. Please, let's focus. Make America great again. The morals, the values, the principles. That's what he's talking about. I'm gonna get y'all. Just know, I'm gonna get y'all. I'm gonna get y'all. Look, salute y'all. I'm gonna get y'all too. Salute. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Salute. Meet me in the comment section. Yeah, I love y'all too. I love y'all too. Meet me in the comment section, y'all. Salute.